Yeah. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. And today, I struggled with how I was going to address this, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I was going to address this issue because it tugs on my heartstrings in so many different ways, right? To give you a quick update. There was Kanye West, like I told you last week, I think it was, or in a previous video, about how Kanye West, going out wearing these shirts saying White Lives Matter, and apparently he went on some show called Drink Champs, which I'll get to that in a second, but he went on Noriega's show, who's a rapper. Noriega's a rapper, and he went on his show in Drink Champs and said some things that, quote unquote, offended the black community, and Noriega called into the Breakfast Club, which is a very popular radio station, Charlemagne the God and all that, and he apologized to black people for what Kanye said, and just a whole lot of back and forth between blacks and things like that. And again, like I said, I struggle with how I was going to address this, but there's so many things that I have to say on this issue. But I'll just give you a quick saying, right? Because that's what this thought is all about. That's what these daily Move Swiftly thoughts are all about. I want you to know, as black people, and I'm talking specifically to any black fathers that are listening to me right now. Black fathers specifically, listen up right now. My father, but before I even get to my father, let's understand what the real issue is, right? You get a show named Drink Champs, which is 3 hours of black men sitting around drinking, smoking, 3 hours of this shit, and they're just talking shit. And that's the kind of shit that takes off. That's the kind of shit that we enjoy, that we consume. That's number one. So we shows like the Move Swiftly podcast and Work on Your Game and the Thrive After Sports and was the power of stories, all run by other black men that are actually saying things that are uplifting our community. We're sitting around for 3 hours listening to guys drink and rappers drink. And I'm proud to say I've never actually listened to an entire show of the Drink Champs. And I'm proud to say that. I don't plan on doing it either. All right. But let me just get to the point, right? My father, this is my point. Black fathers, it's on you. It's on you. Okay, did I make that clear? It's on you. It's on you to teach our young black men about what our history, when I say our history, what the black men in our history have had to live through. The school system will not do it. They won't. It just won't happen, all right? We can stop. We got Black History Month, we got MLK Day, but they will not teach it. And I don't even have time to get into the whole shebang. I'll just give you the story. Here's what I mean when I say you, as a black man listening to me right now, looking at me right now, right? The one who has a son, a black son, you gotta teach. Here's what I mean. There was a time where my father, Mr. Neil Percy Cruickshank, all right, my father took my sister, my mother, and I out to see this movie named Lumumba, all right, the biographical depiction of Patrice Lumumba, political leader who was destroyed and assassinated, all right. He took us out. This is how determined he was for us to know this story and know exactly what he's gone through, because he knew in the back of his mind this particular story was not going to be covered by the school system. It just wasn't going to be covered by the school system. Wasn't important enough for them, right? So he takes us to this movie, and by the time I'm talking about like as the credits are getting ready to hit, my father tells my mother, my sister, and I, he goes, "Okay, guys, look, by the way, this movie, the entire movie's in French." So because he knew that if he would have told us, that it was in French before, we would have been like, I ain't going to that shit, right? But he knew it was that important for us to know the story and just give something. Let me tell you, by the end of the movie, and if you've seen the movie, you know the person I was playing, Patrice Lumumba, was assassinated. By the end of the movie, right, and I kept up with what I could keep up with. Back then, I was a little younger then, and I didn't like to read as much, so the captions, I kept up with what I could keep up with, right? By the end of the movie, once Patrice Lumumba was assassinated, I look back, and that was one of the 2 times that I've ever seen my father cry. One of 2 times. I didn't even see my father cry when he lost his mother, right? or my grandmother, his mother. I didn't even see him cry then. One of the 2 times, the second time was when I was, messing up with my homework and shit like that. He shed a tear because he realized his son was not going to be a math whiz at all. But that's besides the point. Actually further emphasizes my point, but I don't even have time to get into it right now. The point I want to make to you as folks who are in this world, right, who are raising a black son, who are a black father and you're raising a black son, or even if you know of a young black man who is like a son to you, like whether you're a white coach and you have young black boys that are like sons to you, it's important that you teach our history. I'm gonna say that over and over and over and over and over again, because it will not be taught in the school system, and it's on you to teach it. It's on you to teach it, just like my father did. He made sure we watched it, and now I'm coming on over 30 years later and remember it, doing some research, and now go. And in fact, what happened was the movie came out in English. They translated the whole thing in English, and we all watched it in the house as a family at that point. And then we were able to keep up with it and things like that. You see my point? So that's why I don't get, well, if it wasn't for situations like that, I don't get caught up in little stupid ass pesky squabbles between rappers and a rapper who's running a fucking show that where black dudes are drinking all day, and then he's apologizing because of what somebody else said, and everyone's upset with just stupid shit that takes so much time. It's so time consuming, and all that time could have been spent bettering us, teaching the real history. That's my take on the whole situation. Again, I dive deeper onto all of this stuff. If you have not yet, make sure you subscribe to the Move Swiftly podcast. If you're listening to this on the Move Swiftly podcast, hit the follow button. Also, Make Your Move, MakeYamove.com. Purchase Swiftly, your guide to innovative teamwork. Make your move, your unique look into boxing, dance, and entrepreneurship. The 6-figure athlete, how to turn your skills into cash. Also, the Move Swiftly coloring book. Go there, shop till you drop, buy all the merch, buy everything you can see. All the money is being reinvested in the community and reinvested into avenues and ways of teaching. A lot of the things that my father had, instilled in me are still coming through today. The Bible says when you train up a child in the way he should go, he will not depart from it. Also, and most importantly, the ROI hiring seminars. Be sure to inquire about those every month. It's going to happen at the end of every month. And the most important thing, the Move Swiftly workshops, in which we take in the right employee and matching them with the right employer. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.